Secretly in my room, I've been trying to create a webtoon canvas. So I've been learning about art and character design. And PewDiePie just released a video where he accomplished 365 days of drawing, which made me rethink my approach to my goal. At the moment, I do not have the skill to draw, and I'm just learning the basic concepts of art. Until I saw the video, my goal for completing my webcomic has been to outsource the artwork to someone who specializes in drawing. However, I've been stumped every time I'm asked a question, or whenever I sit down to think, what do I want my artwork to look like within my comic? I can't provide the most competent feedback to the people working with me. So this video has inspired me to overcome my fears and go get a sketchbook like PewDiePie did and learn how to draw. This would change my approach from being a passive person to actively doing the groundwork of learning art on a fundamental level. This is day 0. It starts with taking the advice PewDiePie mentioned in the video. The first thing PewDiePie did was show what his drawings look like on the first day of his challenge. From what I can see, he drew faces and different types of eyes. This was done intentionally, as he mentioned he had an initial plan of drawing one body part per day, yet he mentioned right after that it was a bad plan of action. I am not sure why, since it seems like something that could work. However, he does abandon the plan and he went straight to drawing characters from manga. Let me start by making a few sketches myself on the same theme just to have the same starting point as PewDiePie. This would be very interesting to see what these compare to when I look back 1 year from now, and it excites me because PewDiePie seemed really happy when looking at these drawings during the video. My drawings don't look that bad. I think I can tell that these are eyes and a face, but they do need a lot of work if I want to consider myself as good as PewDiePie.
The chin is very big. I wonder if I can fix it. Such a simple change and it's already so much better.
The next lesson that he gives is focusing on small changes that make a big impact on the artwork. He shows an example where he redraws a character's chin and it gives the face a more symmetrical frame. The change was subtle, but enough to make him happy with the art. I think this is something that I will encounter through my experience, and I won't be able to comment on it now. However, I do see this happening in many different ways. Something to the effect of becoming obsessive on certain flaws in the artwork. I have had many times where I couldn't finish a project of sorts, and all I wanted to do is start all over and make it better.
I think just adding colors on papers is so satisfying to look at that it kind of forgives a lot of the anatomy errors, the poor line work, the sketches still being there. Like, it's just...
The next lesson is to try to focus on making sure not to cover up your errors. The main goal would be to improve and not hide something just to make the artwork look better. It's a very straightforward tip.
Don't do what I did. I just kept drawing the same things. Anime girl.
This lesson really puts things into perspective on having a plan of action of sorts. Art is supposed to be fun, but it has to be taken slightly more serious than just a hobby. And this is from the viewpoint that I am trying to learn how to draw and not make it a certain career. There are many examples where artists specialize in a certain style of artwork. There are countless manga artists that draw manga in anime style. There are others that cover their canvases with hyper-realistic art. And after thinking about it for a bit, I realized PewDiePie wanted to focus on practicing the fundamentals of art, but in the beginning, he might not have known the right approach. Repeating the same art left him conflicted in the potential that he might not become an all-around good artist. His focus made his art get better at drawing anime girls and placed a lack of foresight to draw perspective, landscape, shapes, and dynamic poses, and anything else that someone could find. The real lesson is do not draw anime girls, but stay focused on practicing different art principles.
This method is so helpful because when you draw, it's all about balance.
Let me be very sincere. You can hear it from PewDiePie's voice that he mentions this due to the experience that he has gained over time. I do not believe that I can fully express this point at the moment. I think it's something that has to be expressed after someone has experienced it themselves. The only example I can come up with is looking at typography or very crazy perspective in photography. If using different sized letters together, something would look out of place. The same happens with perspective in photography. When looking at their elements, there's no way I could be able to capture the same beauty.
Difficult. So I bought this pen. This pen is amazing. It's a brush pen, and if you squeeze it, ink comes out, and you can draw really slim lines or really thick lines.
This lesson revolves around having diversity and line work when doing black ink lines. This is something that I struggle with when talking to my small team. What he is explaining really defines the finish of the art piece. There are many ways to see this. There is artwork that has only thin lines. There is art of my character that has thick borders and thin lines within. Then you have the use of only thick lines throughout the entire drawing. The reason that it defines the artwork is due to the use of the final product. If I use this artwork, I would use it in an art print or poster. However, if I select this artwork, it would only be allowed within places that need digital art. I personally am not going to start with an ink pen, but I will try to use different types of writing utensils to get the same effect that he's trying to practice.
Finally, after, I don't know, 300 days of drawing, I picked up an art book. I should have done this ages ago.
When I hear the word art book, it equals the word mentor to my ears. I feel that if I was born in 1500, when Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa, and he wrote a book on how to be able to replicate his style and meaning, it is comparable to what PewDiePie is saying when he opened an art book. He found that the book gave him immediate direction. This is a lesson that I would implement right away, as I can hear this is a revelation of sorts. You could hear it.
Finally, that clicked in me. It went from me just wanting to sketch whatever to, no, I actually want to understand these things so I can draw them better. And I wish I did that sooner.
It was as reading an art book answered many of his questions that have been bothering him throughout the entire challenge. I could totally understand the idea of trying to figure out answers to questions you don't really know how to fully express. But these books, they did something. They gave direction, as if having a teacher tell you lesson by lesson what you need to do. The difference when it came to this challenge, the actions were taken without having an actual mentor, and books might have been able to supplement that. I won't pick up a book right away, but I might go to a bookstore and try to see if I can find anything that I might like.
I felt genuinely in me like, I can do more. I know I can do more. And that's when I bought an iPad.
It took me a while in deep thought to try to figure out this lesson. I was not sure if he didn't think that he was improving or he needed a change to go into a medium where he could add color to his work to make it look better for the final reveal on the last day. I think it might have been a little bit of both. When drawing on a digital medium, the art is easy to erase. The lines are not cemented on paper. They are consistent and the brush lines never change, so the process is more forgiving when trying to make a piece of art. Then he mentioned,
It's been so frustrated this entire month. Not only because I wanted to show for the video.
This line gives a good argument that to PewDiePie, there is some sort of advantage to the artwork looking better if it's done digitally. So this gives 2 lessons instead of 1. There is some advantage to learning digital art during this process, and when drawing, every line is not going to be perfect, and that is okay.
Usually if I try something, people are like, oh yeah, that's cool. Well, watch me do it 100 times better. But with me drawing, it was genuinely just everyone being encouraging.
The final lesson was pretty inspiring. If I put myself out there and I find the right community, there will be a lot of people out there ready to encourage me on my journey. The idea of doing this secluded in my room would be something amazing, yet the real magic comes from others sharing in the growth. This process is something to help you and inspire others. Sharing will eventually help you find that community, and that is the most important lesson of all. I want to end the video with PewDiePie's own words. I also think that you know the improvement I had.
Anyone can achieve. Like, I wanted my video to be inspiring for other people to do the same thing. Like, that's my goal. Like, people say anyone can draw, and I truly, truly believe that.